Welcome to the podcast for photographers and wedding professionals who need a little break from the creative industry. So put your pen and notebook away and come hang out with your two besties, Cami Empey and Jade Jenkins. This is Slow Shutter.
Last but not least, in the craziest series we've ever filmed on this podcast, here's part 3 to the Scotland saga with the craziest content shoot retreat of all time.
If you thought it couldn't possibly get worse,
it does.
It does.
It does.
Just letting you guys know now.
So I hope that you guys have a Red Bull nearby.
Popcorn.
Maybe an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah. Adderall.
Adderall. That can make you more stressed.
Something.
You need something
that will get you through
this
day.
episode. This episode's crazy. So just, you gotta listen.
Okay, for time's sake, I feel like we gotta move to day 3.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So basically day 3, I didn't stay in the house. So I'm just showing up at the house in the morning. And this day is the castle day, and it's me, and there's also another Scottish girl and an English girl that have bought day passes for these days.
Oh, okay.
We don't stay, and we're not staying in the house with them.
Okay.
So we don't know how bad the house is or anything. I walk in the morning of, and I'm sitting there talking to like the Australian girl, and I'm like, hey, how's everything going? And she's just like, not great. Like, this isn't fun. She told me she already had a panic attack, and I was just like, okay, what the heck? And luckily her mom was there to help her. But anyway, none of that matters. So essentially the other girls were told, I wasn't told this, but the other 2 girls were told, show up to the house early and you can get pictures of the couples getting ready. And then we'll all get on the bus.
Only 2 people were told that?
Only 2 people were told that, but they were also, I hate that keeps happening. Only 2 people were told that, but when they arrived, the models were in a room that was closed and only the host and her associates were in that room taking photos. No one else was allowed access to that room. Then again, we leave late. This is another day. We are leaving late. We're on the bus. And I'm looking through the group chat catching up, and I see Reese's message saying, how is there going to be any food today? I see another message from another girl that we actually find out is one of her associates also saying, is there anybody bringing food today? Like, no one had any clue of anything going on. And then we're on the bus and the host writes in the group chat, well, I told you all to make sandwiches and, you should have known to make sandwiches. So I'll get to all the other stuff, but the quick logistics of the food part is that we were planned to be at this castle shooting all day until 7. Even the models said, I cannot believe she didn't even plan food for us. So there's already going into this, people are getting mad about there not being food. The castle that we went to was an additional hour drive away. So it was just, we're already all annoyed. This guy, Reese, the whole time is talking about how mad he is that he hasn't had
I had to take so much Zofran.
I didn't even know his name yet, but I knew it was him in the group chat.
Let me set the scene on top of this. Just one added extra thing. You have people coming off the plane, going straight into Edinburgh, and then now going into this. Not once has she apologized. Not once has she introduced anybody. Nobody, everybody, you're just building it. You're just making everything
make it worse.
Out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
So
we also get car sick on the way.
Oh yeah, we got car sick.
3 of us get car sick.
So before that happened, on the Canva, we were supposed to leave at 12 o'clock. Get there at 1, and it was notated that setup was from 1 to 3. And in my head, I'm like, why are we going to be there watching you set up for 2 hours? Why is this like this?
2 hours.
But then also, so the bus didn't come until 1 o'clock. So we didn't get there until 2. And yes, I was complaining that whole bus ride about not having food, because when I had commented in the group chat, I was like, will somebody go to the, whoever's driving there, will you, stop and get water and snacks? Like, I have cash, I will pay. Yeah. Then from there, had asked somebody to get granola bars and water. But up until that point, there was no mention of any of that stuff until I was bitching in the group chat, because you're gonna hear that we're hungry.
Good.
It was an entity that literally was bought the day pass, that she's the one that went and then got the food and the water for
Yeah, which
it's not
is just
her
ridiculous.
responsibility.
Again,
No,
exactly.
Also, we were in a
it's
bus
not
accident.
responsibility.
I
Oh,
just
yeah?
wanted to say that.
But we have to say the big reveal is that this
Oh, the big
castle is
reveal.
not the castle that she advertised.
Okay.
Yeah,
She
this is what I
advertised with
saw
a
on the
picture of a
post.
fully different castle. Okay. And then we all show up. Me and Azaria both have to go to the little girl's room real bad.
Okay.
So we arrive and everyone, there's a lull. The whole group walks up to this castle and there's just a lull. Everybody kind of gets silent because
Everybody
everybody's
glancing.
like, what the F is that?
Everybody
Like,
Mind you, it's about
what
a
is
half
this?
mile walk because the bus driver was scraping the bus trying to enter.
Unimportant information. Move on.
So we go to
No
the
time for
bathroom
that.
because it's 10 minutes being in front of this dilapidated castle that is
Yes.
somehow not the castle that was in the
It's not.
advertisement, you know, because why would it be? Because this would make total sense to not do that. So we're waiting there for 10 minutes, and her and I, a lot of us were on our period at that moment. And so we just go to the bathroom. She's telling us when we're halfway to the damn bathroom, oh, you can't walk over there. Why would you walk over? I've never, as a grown adult, been told and
Scolded.
talked.
She wasn't
I got
telling you. She
scolded.
was screaming.
hands,
Don't
lady.
lie.
She was
She was
screaming it.
She
screaming.
was
Yeah.
screaming.
I gave
She
no
disciplined her associate for
oh,
walking with them.
I gave no shits. You know what came out of my mouth next? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm on my period. It's not waiting for you.
Uh-huh. No, you said we're on our
Oh yeah,
period.
weird.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
My
But
bad.
anyway, so yes, we got chastised for that, but everyone was shocked because it was a huge bait and switch. Like we walk up to this castle, it was not the castle that was pictured. We're all going like, what the hell? This is insane. And
Yeah.
she's saying like, oh, this is,
She doesn't
we're
say
basically
anything.
just shocked.
She doesn't
And
say
yeah,
anything. The freaking elephant is purple in front of us and it's gigantic. It's not a building. It's dilapidated. And she doesn't
yeah,
say
it's
a
really
thing.
bad.
She was just
Literally,
hoping
you
you guys
walk up
didn't
and they're
notice or what?
I think the danger sign gave it away,
that's what I was gonna say.
but
Yes.
also the dilapidated roof and windows and the lack of stairs. There was just a
Yeah.
hole.
No
I mean,
stairs up
something
to
would
the
have
front
tipped us off
door.
eventually.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
If you
Reese
guys
could
close
go
your
to
eyes, you
the-
can't see the castle. Just saying.
So was something said to her when you got there? Like, is this the
because
same
She could
castle?
hear it from all of us. Everybody was just like, what is this? Like, did
Whispering.
you guys know? We're all asking each other, like, is
Yeah.
this the castle? Like, this isn't possible.
It
And
felt
like,
like a
this is
social
ugly as
experiment.
hell.
It was a social
Well,
experiment to see if everybody would say something or just be
yeah, no.
excited about
We
it.
thought we were being
Would
punked. We were
crack
like, wait, where are the
first.
cameras? Is this a joke? Because
And
that's
spoiler
not what
alert,
we thought
she
it was.
stole the photos of the castle she used in her advertisement and
Yeah.
lied and so
Didn't credit.
I
And then
will I will step in here because Anna and I were speaking with the owner of the castle.
Yeah.
And she told us, well, we didn't know that there were going to be this many people. And I said, no. She goes, no, I knew that there was going to be a photo shoot, but I had no idea this many people were going to be here or I would have charged more. And I was like, well, that's interesting because we didn't think we were coming to this castle. We were going to another one. And she goes, oh, can I see it? So I pulled it up on my phone and she goes, yeah, that's not this castle. This is another. She
A
named the
completely
castle.
different castle. Yeah.
Completely
Mhm.
different castle. And then obviously there has been Google reverse image searches, which has found that she stole photos from a completely different castle, an actual wedding or at least a style shoot, but it's a couple there. And she took these photos from this other photographer and used them
And
on
didn't
her
credit it.
advertising.
Yeah, I found
Yeah.
the blog. I found the blog. She took the photos from it, and then everybody that could see, you cannot look at a castle that's functional and then look at a dilapidated one and be like, yeah, this is totally
Same.
normal.
So there was nothing said to her face about what I mean, there was nothing said that day, like during the show.
Not
Hey, this is
No,
Not
it
quite
was.
yet.
Reese was the
not
one.
in that moment. Later on, after the altercations, yes.
Okay,
I
ready
will
for the
say that we
altercation.
all passively aggressively kind of said this is bullshit. This is
Yeah,
not what we thought
like,
it was going to
okay.
be loud enough for her to overhear. So
She yelled at
she
you.
knew that everyone was
Models,
pretty pissed
even the
off.
models are like, where is this what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we're confused.
Yes.
And then, oh.
Yes.
Okay, so you
then
shoot-
essentially we start the shoot and it starts late. So again, we're super late again.
Yeah.
And it wasn't finished setting up while we were like as we arrived, even though we arrived late.
You know, it's a really good
but then-
idea. I think you should group a bunch of photographers together, have them come to the wrong castle, and then make them wait while you set everything up because that's going to go amazingly well. Everybody's talking
it
to everybody,
brewed.
and everybody's saying how annoyed they are. So if she couldn't hear it or her 4 associates couldn't hear it, they're deaf because
Yeah.
Can we just
Who's
interject
the
and
fourth
add the
associate?
fact that we had a newborn actually
Oh yeah.
at the castle with us? And
this
I'm
the
not
video?
talking about the one model there, baby. Her associate brought her newborn to Scotland apparently,
And
and
her
then that
sister,
associate
which I'm
had
sure was
her
paid for.
sister watching that baby. So somebody else that is working for this company brought their newborn child to Scotland to this castle with her sister or somebody. And once again, none of us knew that there was going to be an infant child
Yeah,
at
that's just crazy.
Child Shoot.
Yeah.
None of the vendors
And I'm sure we paid for all of their tickets. Like the baby's gonna be free, but I'm sure we paid for a sister. I'm sure we paid for
Right.
associate. Like there's a
Crazy.
line to be drawn in a
No,
luxury
for sure.
luxury retreat is the
Exactly.
line.
Sure.
So to set the scene, it's
Is
literally
now
so much
David.
time to set up, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's in different groups talking, and everybody's walking around going, "What the hell are we doing?" Asking all these different questions, and we're just stuck there. Then once they're finally kind of set up, it's supposed to be luxury flowers, luxury this, luxury that, in front of a dilapidated castle. So we go to the backside, and it's way worse than even the front side. So you're
Yeah.
thinking,
The roof is
cool,
caved
we
in.
could be in
Nice.
Detroit at this point, and an abandoned building in Detroit
That's
makes
true.
just as much sense.
Even if it was like we discussed this too, if it was castle ruins, that could have been a whole cool shoot
That could
too.
have
But
been a
it
vibe.
wasn't ruins.
No.
It was a dilapidated castle.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
there just
Okay.
isn't, you can't fix it. I literally tried to AI it and you can't. It does not.
Right.
It's not
Yeah.
I
fixable.
wouldn't even take the time to do that because for a luxury shoot, I should be walking in able to take, like, I expect a venue that I can take details of the venue itself. I don't even need a model couple because
Right,
this
right.
is such a beautiful place to be.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
architecture,
Exactly.
the whatever aesthetic, whatever.
So how did the
Exactly.
shoot? How did the shoot go? Like,
Yeah,
were
what'd
you
you
guys?
do?
Were you?
She
The
did
models
divide
were
us up.
great. They were dressed great, you
Oh,
know?
good.
It's
Okay,
just,
good.
She
I
did
wouldn't say they were
actually
dressed great. I would say it was
divide us
better.
up. She
it was
actually
way better
divided
that
us
day
up in
though.
groups, which makes sense because that's what you should do on the first day. And
Okay.
so we
So
all
she
had our
learned.
set people that we were with, and it was like 3 to 4 people depending on the numbers.
Yeah.
And
But we
had
only have one couple, right?
no, we had a
No.
couple in
Yeah.
the back, 2 in the back, 3 in the back, 1 in the front.
Oh, okay. So we've
That's
got
a
four.
lot.
And a
It
cake
was a
in
little
the
more organized because they had people coming around telling us, okay, go to the next station.
It was like
And
they.
yeah,
I'm sure her team, whatever, regrouped. You know, like on day
Okay.
3, and they're like, you know, it'd be a good idea if we split them up into groups and actually
And the
kind of
time-
told them what was going on.
But
Okay.
she didn't put that on day 3.
No.
Okay.
splitting everyone up
Good
into
one.
groups to get content is fine, but the problem is when the host and her employees are also in those groups and or walking up whenever they feel like it,
Yes.
butting into what you're doing. So now you have less time as the paid attendee to
Yeah.
photograph these people because the host and her associates has to get their content.
That's
Oh my
crazy.
gosh.
Even worse than that.
So they
So
went with a
you guys are-
different group. Like they got to pick their model first, and then they spent a full hour shooting that one couple. And then they came and told us all to move to the next couple. Then they picked the next couple that they really wanted to shoot with, and they spent another about 45 minutes with them.
Yep.
And then it was let's get down to crunch time because we only have 20 minutes left, and you guys have 20 minutes to now shoot the other couples with.
Oh,
I had
Because she
less
wanted to
than
make sure
5
that she
minutes.
got what she wanted with who she wanted.
I got
Didn't
less
care
than 5
what
minutes.
anybody else could do.
With the last couple, I got less than 5 minutes with the last couple, and they were the only diverse couple too. Again, I don't understand how I was getting screwed out of my diversity.
The whole time.
The whole damn time.
Literally.
Then here's the other thing too. She has us hurry up and go, like we're gonna leave. No, we sat around for a good 20 minutes while her and all of them are by the cake shooting. So they closed
Yeah,
the
they had it
door so we
private.
can't shoot it, and they're in there shooting while we're standing here going, "What are we doing?"
oh
Oh my gosh. I
And then she opened the door and said, "You guys have 2 minutes left," or like you have 2 minutes to photograph.
But
the
it's
stuff
after
that's
she
in
already
there.
told us to pack
Oh my
everything up.
gosh.
Everybody packed all their cameras up, all their shit. Everybody's ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
so
that was
stressed
after the
out.
whole argument.
Oh yeah. So
Oh yeah.
before that though,
Yeah. So the big
So-
thing, this is the big feature. So go,
So-
I
Dave.
sent
This
a
is
video.
what propelled it all.
yeah. So I had been making some tea and bringing it around to people because it was cold. So I literally was going to all of the different
It's
groups.
definitely tea.
But not only did he know the tea, he was making tea.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought you were talking about like tea
No, he was
until you
with
just
both.
clarified.
the
Yeah.
people's
You can
husband
bring
was
people.
taking care
Real
of the
tea.
people better than the
I
host.
was taking care of people.
Yes.
So I was bringing around tea, and I was hearing from everybody about how hungry we were
How
and
frustrated.
how frustrated it was and everything else. And I was also very freaking hungry because I didn't fly all the way to Scotland to eat freaking white bread sandwich.
yeah,
Like,
no.
like,
We're
what-
from
what the-
Nebraska. I don't need that.
So at this point, it's like after 6 o'clock. We're supposed to be wrapping up within about an hour to 45 minutes. Went to her group. And so she had her own group of just her and her associate photographers. She wasn't going around helping any of the other groups. So I walked to her group. I had just walked past Reese and Anna and Kate and Jay on my way over there. And I told them, hey, I'm going to go ask her about dinner. Wish me luck.
Oh my gosh.
They knew that like food was already like this thing that she'd already thrown out. I'm not providing food.
Elusive.
Yes.
Um,
So I went to her and asked her. I like saw them shooting, waited for them to, put their cameras down so they
I'm
saw.
so stressed.
And I asked her, and I was like, "Hey, so we're getting ready to go here pretty soon. Is there any chance that we can stop somewhere for dinner? Because none of us have had a sit-down dinner thus far. It's been days. We've been stressed. We're getting hangry. Can we have a sit-down dinner?" Her response to me was, in the contract, I never said that I'm providing dinner. I'm not providing anybody any dinner.
You need to know the tone of voice she has at him by him just asking that. It's not a normal, hey, we want to do something for dinner. It
was the attitude, which is why I got involved.
He doesn't talk like, oh, it's in the contract. I said it was in the contract.
Yeah. It's,
Okay.
So she's very defensive just for me asking for food. At this point, I don't care how defensive she is. I just want some freaking food. So I'm trying to de-escalate.
Wind them up.
Wind them up.
Yes. So I tell her again, I'm like, we are all very, very hungry. We need access to food. We have no access to food. She then tells me, oh, you're within a walk to the town. You could have walked to town for breakfast, and you can walk to town when we get back.
For dinner.
Things will be open. There's a bar there. There's a pastry shop. There's a restaurant. You can go there when we get back. So I'm like, okay, let me look this up. I don't believe you, but let me look it up just to make sure.
Because at that point, there's nothing she said that's been true.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to be able to
not good.
call her out. So I walk away from her, and I'm in between the two groups shooting, and I look on my phone. Nothing is going to be open except for the restaurant, which is actually a hotel. So I call them. I literally just dial them up and call them and ask them, when are you going to stop serving food? Because I've lived in Europe. I know that places stop serving food. Just because they say open doesn't mean
they're not open.
Food is going to be open.
The kitchen is closed and the bar is still going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I called them and they said, our kitchen closes. We don't serve any food after 8:30. However, if anybody is planning on coming in for food, you need to give us a heads up because we don't just like we're not like a restaurant that just
like 20 of you.
Yeah.
And it's not like the States. Yeah, obviously they do things different. They're smaller restaurants, smaller kitchens,
Yeah. So I am assuming at this point that there's a chance we could make it back, but I need to know how many people are going to go to there. I need to go talk to her again, see if this is a possibility.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So I then go back to her, and they're then
You have to go back.
I start walking back to her. They're like saying out loud, "Hey, we're switching groups," so everybody's starting to switch.
He was hungry.
I wasn't there.
He's like, palms are sweating. I walk up to her.
Knees weak, arms are heavy.
Groups. They're walking towards where Reese and Anna and Kate and Jay are, and they are then finishing up their shoot. And I go up to her and I tell her, "Hey, I looked it up. None of these places are going to be open. The only restaurant that is open right now is going to be closed soon. Do I need to call make reservations, or can we stop somewhere on the way? Because we'll actually have time if we stop in one of these many towns we're passing on the way." Okay. That is when we started giving me the whole thing again of we can't do this.
All of this is raised voice, by the way, too.
She's very agitated with me at this point. And she said, "I've already told you we're not stopping anywhere. I never promised you any food." To me, with her attitude, that Reese can hear her. And that is when Reese shouts out from about 50 feet away. Go ahead, Reese.
Say, Reese.
I said, I did not pay $3,600 to hear that it's not your responsibility or that we should walk to go get food. Mm-hmm. And that is when it started between her and I. And again, as you might have heard in the video or not.
No, say it. Tell us.
Well, we were far enough away that I would not have been able to talk using an inside voice. Yeah. Or she would not have been able to hear me, right? So I was obviously raising my voice. Right. Well, I started going off. She started going off. And I can't even honestly tell you what it was that I said, but I was like, this is not luxury. I didn't pay $3,600 to eat fucking sandwiches, right? Like,
wait, are there people here that aren't attendees? Like, is there just randoms around?
There's
No,
some
there's
Yeah,
models.
like vendors.
Some
There's
vendors,
vendors, models, and
models.
it's
The
us.
owner was there.
Yeah,
The
okay.
models
Right.
were there. Then the rest of the people that were here,
I'm
right?
setting the scene in my brain. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there are groups everywhere. So there's 3 sets of models back there. So there's 3 sets of groups back there.
Did
Plus,
everybody
Right.
go dead silent?
No, so
oh
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, and
so after he said that, she goes, "I never promised you that I would provide you food." And Reese said, "I'll get," because she kept giving us this line like as if she thought that we wanted her to pay for our food. And Reese said, once again, "Bitch, I never asked you to buy me any food."
Yeah.
Because he used the B word.
B word.
Yeah, she then lost her dang mind and started running at him, all kinds of crazy, like,
Not the
"What
host,
are
the
you
Lunge.
doing?"
Lunge.
Running?
Oh no. What she said is we're not gonna do this. The Kool-Aid man comes through to charge at them in orange, Kool-Aid orange, comes to charge at them. But when she goes to do that, it looks like, oh well, they attacked them. That's not what happened. Kate and Jay both had videos. So to then say these lies later and try to gaslight everybody to believe them is just such, it's like the chef's kiss of narcissism and everything else to tell everybody this is luxury and that I didn't false advertise. I'm going to stick with the fact that I didn't promise you food. Bitch, nobody's asking about food. Everybody's asking about the luxury of the item to be able to walk to somewhere to get something to put in their mouth.
Accessibility. It was
Yeah.
the issue of accessibility.
And so because she kept saying that, they kept saying, we're not asking you to pay it. We're not asking you to deliver it to
Oh.
us. We're asking you to hand feed us it. We're asking you for the ability to stop and grab something because you put us in a location that you yourself don't even understand. And you have the luxury of having your husband with your kids and a castle, and you can just deliver food over because you don't have that
well,
problem.
she also had a Sprinter van, so they didn't have to worry about delivery.
Wherever they
They can
wanted.
drive wherever
And
they
her
want.
mom.
Yeah. And so when that happened, which this one never raises his voice, clearly I raise my voice. I can be louder. And so I'm on the other side.
I want to hear him voice the voice of her.
I didn't hear any of it on the other side, right? Because I'm on the front part of the castle. So then by the time I get around, then we hear the whole story. And she just goes and tries to tell everybody that Reese is unseemly, he's rude, he charged at me, he was coming for me, he escalated it, he's an aggro guy, it's all his fault.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't want
Reese
to
seems like so aggro.
and
He's
mind you,
aggro.
the bitch that's standing in between is this one.
The bitch who's standing in between is David.
Is my
Going
lovely
crazy.
husband, and I don't mean it in a mean
The
way.
house husband.
The house
The house
husband is
husband,
standing in
yeah.
between. There's no way that Reese was coming for her. She tried to say that he came for her, like he moved.
I know.
He didn't move. David took 2 steps forward and 1 step in between because you can read the body language and you know when it's going to happen.
Honestly, I'd stepped in between because I didn't want her trying to swing at Reese.
And
But he attacked her.
yeah, but
kept telling
later
And he doesn't
on,
move
everybody.
towards her at all.
No,
Right.
He didn't.
You can see her associate in
He's, like,
orange
going
charge
for
at
you.
him.
Kool-Aid man.
Like,
you're
should
lucky there was
our-
people in between, honestly.
Should
Yeah,
our
he's-
aggro baby
yeah,
have
Reese is
like
lucky.
called her bitch? Probably not. But was
Yeah,
our
but does
aggro
he
That's what I
baby
said.
telling the truth?
But
Yes,
also,
he
like-
You act
was.
like
Did
a
she
duck.
deserve it?
You act like a duck. You're a duck.
He
You're a duck.
did.
Quack quack.
Quackity quack quack.
But also like we were all very hangry. Like we had no sit down meals up to this point. We were very hungry. We wanted some freaking food. It'd been a long day of shooting and everything else. I wasn't
Yeah.
even shooting. I was tired from
On
walking.
top of having to bathe myself on my knees in the bathroom. So like,
Oh,
let's
just a
just
subtle
add that
reminder.
to
He was on his
everything else.
knees. That's the only thing.
So after all that was over, I went to her 2 associates and talked to them because obviously she didn't want to talk and
She's incapable of talking.
She was incapable of like actually making anything right with this entire situation. So I went to her 2 associates and talked to them and was like, "Hey, I understand that this got heated, but we are still very hangry, just like I
Yeah.
told you.
Yeah.
Like things are," and then I told them
Nothing's
things are
resolved.
going to get worse. I was like,
Yeah.
if you don't find a way to remedy this, things are only going to get worse. More and more people are going to get angry, and things are like not going to get better.
It's
I was like,
20 against
We need to
3.
find a way to get us some food.
It could
So
go to
then-
battle.
so
Like
then-
it's not going to be good.
So then one of them told me, "Okay, I don't think we can do a restaurant," even though I know I had looked and there was restaurants that we could stop at. But they're like, "We don't think we can do a restaurant, but we might be able to stop at a supermarket on the way back." So she
Again.
told me
Okay.
that
Okay.
they might be able to stop at a supermarket on the way back. When we did actually stop at a supermarket, when we stopped, she did not announce on the bus that we were going to stop. She did not tell anybody ahead of time that this was the plan that was actually made. When we got there and somebody said to her, oh, it would have been nice to know like what the plan was. She said, oh, well, I told David that we were going to stop. He should have told everybody.
He's
David-
not the
David's
host.
What in the
responsibility.
hell is going on?
He's not
And
the
no
host.
request.
And then she complained. She was like, well, how much? She was like, I spent an extra $200 for this. Like, choke on your $200.
I came out of
please.
my pocket to
The
pay
balloon.
$200 for this stop at the grocery store.
I would have paid $200 for a fucking McDouble.
So
Like,
now,
Yeah.
$200 to not stay
A
at the
chicken
in
nugget.
Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Like,
so now,
God.
so now is when we get to the good part, which which
Oh, we're
which
not even
sets
at the good
this-
part?
Oh, no.
no,
No.
You
to
guys
set
are
the
gonna
stage,
give me a heart attack, dude.
Just wait,
So
Try living it.
agitated.
Try living it. We're all in suspense of stress to the point where we're on the bus then after we get the food, and she's setting the scene to make it 10 times worse. We're listening to her bitch. We're listening to her. It's a fucking bus, woman. We can hear you. And she's talking, and then they go quiet. So then we're like, oh, something's about to happen.
but she's also the host. We think that she's the one that's supposed to be de-escalating this. She's the
She's
one
not.
that's supposed to
No, yeah.
be things better. So we get back and
we're trying to de-escalate it. Like,
we're-
I'm not
You
the
guys are
host.
the mom and dad.
We're on the bus, right? We are on the bus. And she's texting in the group chat, so everyone's phones are going off. And then all of a sudden in the group message, it says, I'm tagged, Reese Oliver, I sent you a DM. It might be in your spam or your other thing, right? So I reacted to her comment. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Like, literally, I do not give
You're
a
on the
shit
same bus?
what
And
you
the
have to
bus
say.
is silent because we all know what's happening.
Right. So then a few
I
minutes
DM
later,
you.
I noticed that I was removed from the group chat. So mind you, we're exhausted. We went and spent a bunch of money at the grocery store. Anna and I have this massive bag of food, like stuff that's frozen. We are so excited to get back and hang out with our little crew and cook our food and like just decompress because it's been one hell of a day
Yeah.
and one hell of
You're
a trip.
stressed. Yeah.
Should I read the message that she sent me right now, or should I just send it to you guys?
Read it.
Hey guys, are you loving the podcast and want to be part of our inner circle?
Welcome to the Slow Shutter VIP Lounge, your backstage pass to exclusive episodes, educational content, and monthly live Q&As where we hang out and answer any questions you have under the sun.
It's like the cool kids table, but for photographers and creatives who get it.
For just $12 a month, you get way more than just bonus content. You get the juicy conversations and education we don't give anywhere else.
And if you use the code VIP when you sign up, you'll get 15% off your first month. Click the link in the show notes and join us in the VIP lounge. We saved you a seat.
I got the message here. Now listen.
I'm listening so intently.
Get ready. I wanted to address the serious concerns raised by multiple attendees and myself regarding your behavior during today's events. We have received numerous reports of your volatile, aggressive conduct, use of inappropriate language, and confrontational interactions with other individuals. The safety and well-being of all of our attendees is our utmost priority. Consequently, we have concluded that your continued presence in the shared accommodation poses an unacceptable risk. Therefore, we must request that you vacate the premises by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. We understand the late hour and acknowledge the need for you to remain overnight. However, it is imperative that you depart promptly at the specified time to avoid further complications. We have communicated this decision with the other attendees who are in agreement with this course of action. We regret having to take this action, but the circumstances necessitate it. We strongly advise that you secure alternative accommodation immediately. This is time sensitive. I'll need a response by tonight, or I'll need to send this to the group chat to ensure it has been received.
What the fuck?
What?
She didn't talk to the other attendees. Not
we talked to the other attendees.
Yeah, you confirmed with other
Claiming
people.
that half of the attendees agreed with this. I counted.
more than half did not.
The only people that I could figure out that actually agreed with her were her
Her
associates.
associates.
Yeah.
She counted as other attendees somehow, and maybe one other photographer.
And you know that
That's it.
her people did not pay full price.
Or probably didn't
They
pay at
didn't
all,
pay
let's
at
be
all.
honest.
Yeah.
They got free trip too. It was part of the family vacation.
They were part of the family.
Wait, do you have another day of shooting or is
Yeah. So the
wait,
next
what did you do?
So the next
So
day
hold
we're
on.
supposed to get on a train and go to the
No,
North.
no, not a train. The Harry Potter Express. Sorry,
Yeah.
Oh,
Hogwarts
yeah.
Express.
She said that.
What?
So the next day
Cameron's
is
gonna die.
basically is a travel day. So by telling him to leave, she's basically saying you can't go to the next travel part and you can't do the shoot.
Right. So at this point in time, when I actually opened that message, we were all in the owner's home, hanging out with our little group here, right?
Okay,
Except
so
for
you
Chanel,
hadn't
because
even
she was
seen it yet.
gone. So I opened the message and I read it to all of them. And then we proceed to go into the main house and go into the kitchen. And this is when the longer videos start in the kitchen
The
because
20 minutes.
okay, so like if you're telling him that he can't come, then you're gonna do like a refund. Like there's a longer video. Like I said, I'll send you the
Okay.
link to YouTube so you
Yeah, yeah,
guys
yeah.
can watch
We'll
them.
link it in the show notes so
Yeah, well,
everybody can
yeah,
go watch
you-
it.
Basically, in this kitchen, she's telling me that I need to leave that night. This is no longer you have to leave in the morning. It's you need to leave right now, and I'm going to call the cops. And I don't feel safe with you in my presence, so I have to call my husband to come to this house. But you need to leave right now. So I said, okay, then if you're telling me that I can't be part of the rest of this at $7,200 paid, then I'm getting a refund. I'm not refunding you anything. And I said, okay, well, I guess I'll see you in court. And Anna goes, well, then if you're not going to refund him, we're going to reach out to the UK embassy and let them know that you're here working without having the proper paperwork. Then she shuts up. At this time, there's other conversations happening with Azaria and like other people. So out of the kitchen telling her, no, 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 go
This is the
on,
same
go
girl
on.
that came after you.
This is the
Yes.
same girl that charged you.
This is the same girl
Orange
that came towards me.
Kool-Aid.
And I'm standing there laughing. I go, you're telling me that I need to leave, that I'm aggressive and I'm a threat, but your own employee is now lunging at another person today, but I'm the problem standing
For
here
the
laughing
second
at this.
time. For the
Yes.
second time, she's lunging at somebody. And as
Yes.
she's doing all this, before the other person starts with me, and before any of that, she's painting this picture as Reese is being an aggro man, trying to tell her. And then when we try to tell her nicely, we're talking to her, we're not screaming at her while she's yelling at us. And she sounds, you know, when Karens go viral, that's what
Yeah.
it sounded like.
Oh
Like
my
you're
God.
just dealing with somebody that's not listening to you. And the second you go to say something, they talk over you and they make some sort of other excuse. So she made an excuse. Well, that's the same castle. It's not the same castle.
No.
Then, oh, well, the owner said it is, and the owners did not say it was. And she's just building this case over and over and over again. And as she's doing it, in between all that, she keeps saying Reese is the problem, but she's the one literally running away, coming back, running away, coming back.
And
Then,
She also kept saying this with trying to say that she had receipts. She kept, I have
Oh.
an email that says this. I have this.
I have
Oh, I know that you guys are talking because I have seen screenshots of a group chat that you guys are in.
we
had
didn't
no
have
group-
a group chat.
I was like,
We
I'm
do
we
not-
didn't even
now.
know
We
each
sure as
other,
hell
really.
do, but we didn't then.
We
didn't.
did not,
Yeah.
right.
We did
He
not.
created
But I
a
will,
trauma bonding
since you
experience
just said
and
that,
then
Jay, if it's gonna be out there now that we have a group chat, they didn't have a group chat at the time of this
No.
conversation. I
not.
created the group chat the next morning when I found out we were being accused of having a group chat.
Yep.
So I was
Right.
like, why
But
not?
also,
So
Might
now
as
we
well
do.
do it if we're going to be
in
accused
this
of it.
Mhm.
in the kitchen, she told me, well, I blacked out when you were screaming at me. So then her husband comes in, right? Because so her excuse was, well, I was in a really bad relationship. So basically, like, I have trauma. And when you screamed at me, I blacked out. She was in the kitchen telling people that I called her a and I'm like, I absolutely did not say that. Well, then her husband comes in, her husband shows up.
If the shoe fits.
She's talking to him, call the cops right now, get him out of here. I don't feel safe with him. He did this. And he's kind of looking at me. And I was like, dude, I paid $7,200 to be here. If she wants us to leave, that's not a problem, but I need a refund because I'm not going to be told that I have to leave somewhere that I paid to be. And I go, actually, she hasn't even been staying at this Airbnb. So she's going to sit here and say that she doesn't feel safe? Then go. You haven't been here
Yeah.
any night at
Right
all.
there.
You leave.
That was the most time she'd spent there ever.
Right.
Every
The
other
entire
time,
time.
she just
Yes.
dropped people off and left.
Yeah.
Yes.
And here's the other thing too, like right before she even got her husband there, like she's already played this whole aggro man. Reese is charging at me while she's charging actively at us. And then I say one thing to her, just I'm like, okay, can we just all listen? I got everybody to shut
You're the
up.
mom.
Yeah, I got everybody to shut up. I got her to acknowledge that she doesn't need to be yelling at us right now. And then she says, well, you left your person and that's all your fault. I'm like, whoa. So then I get three of them yelling at me at one time. Never did I think I was going to be in this position where I have to then talk over them. So I talk to them nicely, like little kids. I don't yell at them. I want to. I really want to.
Where's
But
the attendees at this point?
yeah, other attendees and models are all around. They don't care.
they're just
Some of them
watching.
are in the
So
kitchen.
everybody's
Some of
just
them are in
dead
other
silent
rooms.
listening.
But
People.
there's people around. There's,
Yeah. And other people had tried to stop her from yelling too, and she is not listening.
Yeah.
And I had come at me. Mind you, she's taller and bigger than me. I'm also kind of one of those people where like I evaluate really quickly. So I go, I'm not going to move. You will have to probably knock down all four of us in order to get to me. Like it's just not happening. So you might as well just step back. I defended myself. I said, well, cool that you know that story, but you got that story from another girl that's upset because you put her in that position. I didn't put her in that position. You did. You chose to have us come to this Airbnb like this. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to you tell me something that you don't ask me personally. Well, it's not her story is right. You're wrong. Like it's literally like arguing with a kid that doesn't understand right from wrong.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, there's two sides to every story, girl. And you get her to calm down for 2 seconds, and then she pulls out her phone again. Was like, I have proof. I have proof. And I'm like, you can have all the proof you want, but you haven't shown it once. So the
Yeah.
second my husband shows up, he goes, well, I bet you guys don't have any video. And I go, actually, we do. So then I walk through the group, go to him, show him the video, show him both of them. And I'm like, she doesn't have anything to show you because she was too aggravated and too she says quote unquote triggered to acknowledge that maybe that's not a good idea to yell at a venue around a ton of different attendees
But
and yell at
also,
multiple attendees.
when you were trying to show her husband the video, she kept saying, well, they started recording after Reese came
Yeah,
from
she was
me.
making
They started recording after he was screaming at me and after he was saying all of these things. And I was like, I didn't even know that video was being recorded because I wasn't looking at anybody else. But also, this is like legitimately what happened the whole time. Like, there was no, oh, we're not going to record this part to make Reese look better. Not like,
No.
it's just a recording of whatever was happening. So when he came in to like figure out what the hell was going on, she's all, oh, this isn't what happened. This isn't what happened. Oh, sorry, honey. I spent $200 of our money to get them to go to the grocery store. Like, just
mind you, all of this is still her
the
yelling.
most
There's no
insane.
talking. There's no way settling her down to talk. She talks for 2 seconds and then goes back up. And she lies on her lie on top of another lie on top of another lie. And as you're catching her with her lies, apparently I have a PhD in it because I'm sitting here saying, no, that's not how that is. Then she goes, well, this is actually that. I'm like, no, that's not that either. And she just keeps going. And you try to make her see that maybe she should calm down, maybe stop talking over everybody. Maybe stop interrupting, stop yelling, be a grown adult, but then say you're worried about everybody else's safety. I'm worried about my safety with you, and you don't care.
Everybody's sitting in this situation where they're like, I can't say anything because she's obviously just kicked Reese out. I paid over $3,000.
And you're in a country you don't live in.
So it's like, what rights do I have here? What rights does she have here? Like, is she allowed to do this? Am I allowed to speak up? Like, that's such a horrible position to be in.
It's very much an abusive relationship is what it feels like. Her holding the power, holding things over us, and then her also having her ticket for the train tomorrow. So if we get out of line, who else is she going to kick out of the group? Who else is she going to not let get on the train?
Right.
Or are we going to have to pay out of pocket then to find a place to leave? Like, we're literally an hour away from Edinburgh. And do we want to go further with her? Do we want to go to the next city that's even further away?
Like, and imagine, I mean,
stage a coup, kick her out, all of you go.
Yeah, you're like, wait a second, give me the model's numbers. And
honestly, it would have gone
so much better job than her anyways.
You go on vacation, we'll go shoot.
Would have been so much smoother too, honestly. Like, there's no communication in there. There's no common decency. We weren't treated as if we were equals, let alone like we were beneath her, basically.
You were like not even human. You weren't even being treated like human.
No, because that would mean that you would eat, sleep, poop, pee, do all the other stuff everybody
else
does.
You don't even have water.
We need hydration, and we don't get the hydration. We don't get anything. Like, why do you think I'm drinking this so much? I'm still traumatized.
You're like, still dehydrated 2 weeks later.
The alcohol, like you guys.
Yeah, you're like, I needed a stiff drink,
some tequila.
So her and her associate come to get us. Well, not even her because she was already in that room. Her associate comes to get us and was like, "Can you come talk with us?"
Was it the only room?
So Anna and I go walking in there. Well, when she turned and saw me coming into that room, she was like, "No." Immediately, no, I'm not safe in here with him. I do not want to be in this room with him. I am totally uncomfortable. Making it again seem like I am some maniac guy that's like on a rampage. So once her husband came in the room, she then calmed down. And so there's a 58-minute recording on the YouTube page of that whole conversation where I addressed every single issue I had with her and we all had from start to finish, including the pickup day, including the not luxury experience. It's all there. Like, there's no way for her to be able to weasel her way out of what was said because it's all recorded. And so again, somebody who was so afraid of me, by the end of the conversation, comes up and puts her shoulder next to mine and is showing me things on her phone. You were so afraid to be in a room with me because you thought I was going to hurt you. But a half hour later, you're putting your shoulder on mine and you're showing me things on your phone. So basically, I aired all of the grievances that I possibly had.
Okay.
In the beginning, it was a lot of the gaslighting. I mentioned the castle in the photo, and the owners gave me that photo. I said, no, they did not. The woman confirmed with us that that's not there. Then we also brought up the fact that the castle has a remodeled chapel inside, but that was never styled or mentioned that we could go inside and use this chapel area, which that was a whole thing. But either way, the conversation, a lot of gaslighting, a lot of yelling, a lot of her denying, deflecting, all of that nonsense in the beginning, and then it calmed down and it was okay, well, what is it that you would like to do here? So I had asked her, her assistant goes, okay, agreed to give you an $800 refund. And I said, $800 each? No. We want to make it clear that you will get an $800 refund, but we're not going to refund Anna's ticket. And Anna still is more than welcome to stay here and come with us where we're going for the next 2 days. And I go, okay, well, how would you feel if you were in another country with your husband? You would stay somewhere where he was no longer welcome? And she goes, well, no. I said, so then how can you expect Anna to be doing that here, right? So I was like, okay, how about $1,000? I was like, because $1,000 is still less than half of one ticket.
Yep.
At first it was no, and then it was, okay, but you're going to sign an NDA. And I said, no, absolutely not.
Oh.
And Anna was like, why would we need to sign an NDA? And she goes, because I don't trust that you won't slander my business after this. I said, well, sharing my experience isn't slander. This is what I'm going through. You can't. So things calmed down, and she asked, well, what would you want to do? The assistant asked that question. And I was like, I don't know. Like, it's really late. Like, we ended it on that note where I would message her sometime between the leaving there and then in the morning about what we were going to do. Well, at this point in time, we finish the conversation. We go back to the owner's home where we're speaking with Jay and Kate and David and Azaria, trying to figure out what to do. And they were like, we think that you guys should come. Don't let her win type thing.
Right.
So at this point, they are relaying to us that the time is being changed for the pickup. So originally, she was supposed to be picking people up at like 9 or 9:30 in the morning because the train was supposed to leave at 11:15, and then she backed it up and changed the time. So we leave them, we go to bed, we decide that we are going to go on the journey. We wake up in the morning, get ready because we wanted to take a stand-up shower. So we had to go to the owner's home and schedule our showers literally at 7:30, I think was our time, or 7, to take a shower.
You had 7:15. I was
Yeah,
7:45, and Kate was right after me.
And she changes saying the train keeps changing their schedule. If you've ever been to Europe, their train schedule is set.
Azaria and I, like once I saw the time change, Azaria and I went into the room that Azaria and David were staying in, and her and I basically had a one-on-one, and we were like, okay, we're afraid she's going to leave Reese. Who's going to make sure we're ready.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
and we couldn't all fit together. So it was like, okay, like basically rock, paper, scissors, shoe of like, do you care if, Kate and I go and make sure Anna and Reese get there? Or do you would you rather come the second round? Do you want to come the first round? Like basically negotiating like private security
because
for
we really,
our aggro man, our favorite aggro.
and her and I, me and Jay were talking. We're like, we had this in our gut. Like, what if she decides to just leave them? And we didn't trust her at that point. You lose all trust when you treat people like this.
Right.
No,
Duh.
for sure.
Yeah. So our whole conversation is, okay, if not all of us have to be with Reese and Anna, half of us have to be. So either Jay and Kate, me and David, somebody, we need to be with them, period. So of course she shows up and just expects all of us to be ready when it's not even the time that she said. So I'm frantically packing, and we just have that like moment where we're like, okay, well, you guys go without me and David. Hopefully she'll come back for me and David.
Yeah.
Phone, Instagram, Facebook,
Everything.
with 14 other people. Some of them went to Greece. I have messages. I have statements. It was even worse in Greece than it was in Scotland.
Oh my God.
And like I said, I've had models, I've had vendors, and I've had attendees reach out to me. We have all of this. I have information for days.
The
Like-
best thing about this is when I first found Jay's post, I immediately go and find this account, right? Like her retreat account. And she's posting on her story like a million like positive
Quotes.
reviews from other people. And I'm just
From her
like, wow,
associates.
this is probably damaging.
Those were her
both the board.
co-hosts.
Those were her
One of those
co-hosts?
reviews is from a co-host.
No!
The hours of my life that I have lost since my post, since it went live in that Facebook group, and I say lost as in like because I have now devoted so much time to speaking to these people,
Entertain.
and they have all apologized profusely, saying they are sorry for not speaking out.
She created the same
All
environment.
of them.
This
All
is an environment.
even worse. To be honest, based off of the
Worse in
people that I've
Greece.
spoken with, Greece was actually worse. But everyone said, "I am so sorry for not speaking up because if we would have said something,
Yeah,
you
people
guys
wouldn't
might not
go.
be."
They wouldn't.
Pe-
Nobody would
people-
have gone.
So we went through all of this, talking to one of the models on the last day who was not involved in any of this. They were not at the house when this extra drama went down. Only being around here for how the shoots went and how picking people up went. Their sentiment was, when she goes to somebody might get killed
Yes.
because of how she does it.
She leaves
Because
people.
Scotland is so safe. You can
Yeah.
do whatever. You leave somebody on the side of the road for 4 hours. It's fine.
Yeah, where if she
Mexico
goes
is not
somewhere-
that.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
man.
nervous for the people that are going to go. And we're going to have everything from like maybe a 40-year-old all the way to an 18-year-old. It could be the first time somebody's going out of the country. I know Mexico, like this is not a good idea. You don't just leave people at the airport in Mexico. You don't just leave them on the side of the road trying to get them to go to an
No.
Airbnb. Do why?
Now, weeks later, we haven't reached any sort of resolve with anything, right?
Has anybody been refunded at all?
Nobody's been refunded.
Oh no.
No one's
We
ever
sent
The money
a
gets spent.
nobody's going to get refunded.
we
Right.
sent a letter that 8 of us signed, a very emotion-free, fact-only
Factual.
letter.
Good.
And within 12 hours, well, the orange jumpsuit girl, that's not what I meant, but she
Yeah.
sent me 2 messages and then unsent them. And then I blocked her because I was
And the
like, I'm
girls.
not talking. She's violent. I'm not talking to her.
Yeah.
She removed us from the group chat. And then she, shortly
like
after
all of
sent
us.
an email, like the email I had sent it out, but it CC'd in everyone who signed it and it CC'd in her associates. She responded to me and said, well, Reese went to social, so the email I've been drafting, I was told I had 10 days to respond. We gave her 10 business days, which she still had her 10 business days. She could have used it. Because we sent it on a Sunday night. By Monday afternoon, she, within 10 or 20 minutes of sending the email was when Orange Jumpsuit was sending me and then unsending me messages.
Yeah.
And then,
We all got blocked from her Facebook group. We got
right,
blocked from her message. None of us got a response, but and even then,
right.
that's your 10.
It was saying that we were getting nothing, essentially. She was like, sorry, like I'm requesting nobody talks to me. And so I was
Okay.
like, okay. I said nothing. I didn't respond, whatever. And that's when I popped on social media and I was like, let's go,
Yeah.
boo.
Yeah, for real. Oh my
I can
gosh,
play dirty
guys.
too.
Okay. To wrap this all up in a pretty bow, I am just appalled. And I cannot believe
That's an understatement.
yeah, I cannot believe that these poor people went through something like this. I'm just saying here, we are going to go through the nitty-gritty details of it all on our Patreon. So if you didn't catch it in the commercials, we do have a Patreon here on Instagram.
We're gonna have an exclusive episode where we just talk about our thoughts on the whole situation, what we would have done differently,
Yes.
how, our opinions, everything about all of this,
So if
because it's
you
crazy.
have ever hosted or attended a content day, this episode is for you. So
one's for you.
hop on the Patreon.
Or if you just want to hear our innermost thoughts about all of this.
yeah, because we know you can't get enough.
Unfiltered.
We know you can't get
We
enough.
know you're obsessed with us.
Yes. So we are going to be going through the more educational side of things, like what to do, what not to do, how it should have been done, how it could have been done better.
Yep, our opinions on the whole thing. So click the link in the show notes to get on the Patreon. It's a good one. It's a goodie.
We love you.
We love you.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Slow Shutter Podcast with Cami Empey and Jade Jenkins.